Good morning, everyone. So, guys, as of recording at 7:30 around, guys, my house is in a bit of a state because of last week. Getting back on track. So, for those of you who follow me on the blog, links in the description below, you would have seen my latest blog is about getting off the internet, finding some balance. So when I was talking to my support coordinator, Deb, who has also become a life mentor. So she's someone outside the family and the friendship network. She has become a friend. And when I talked to the commission about it, they were saying that's the best thing ever. Because when you've got a support coordinator you can trust, go to them for things that may or may not be NDIS related, but they might have those networks, and I've also got those networks to share with her as well. But she asked the important question: if I get off the internet, what am I going to do instead? Okay, first things first, get my house clean. For me, clean doesn't only just mean clean, tidy, vacuumed, but it also means decluttered, because behind the scenes I've heard about the possible change in my funding. So, and guys, I said this over on TikTok, and I think it does bear repeating here. Yes, we're all scared. Yes, we're all hearing the horror stories about people dying, ending up in the hospital, ending up in aged care. Okay, those of us, particularly, I'm talking to the high-functioning community, we need to be grateful that we even have funding, that we're even included. Grateful that I've got a support worker in the house. Grateful that I am able to move independently. That tomorrow I have my community access agency. That I needed to go into hospital for a GI procedure. Nothing to pay. I did have to wait, but nothing to pay. So we do need to have that bit of gratitude. And there were things that I looked at on the list and I was scratching my head to why crystal therapy, why seeing a psychic, getting your tarot cards read were being funded by the NDIS. If you want to do them, save up for them. Everyday groceries. To me, I've got to pay for them out of my pocket. Now, for someone who has a GI tube, NG tube, needs thickener, needs formula, needs supplementation, totally and utterly get that. That is a cost on top of everyday living expenses. But there hasn't been enough regulation. People are saying, oh, there's too much regulation. Yeah, in the wrong areas. So, guys, I'll keep going with my house. And the exciting thing today is recording with Andrew Lord, a community pharmacist, around medication safety as well. Basically, medication safety, or a difference between addiction and physiological dependence on medication. The basics: what does a pharmacist do? How do they build those relationships in the community? And his journey to getting NDIS registered. He has to be very careful what he says. Full disclosure, I used to work in the same industry, not at the level he did, as a pharmacy assistant, and he's so happy to come back on and be a regular friend of the show. So, guys, definitely drop it in the comments below. Questions you want him to answer. He is happier to come on the podcast because it is a longer form that we can record as well. So, guys, I'll make this into a longer style video, but as you can see, got to get all of that away and organised. The other thing I've realised, because I need noise around me, don't have to have earphones in. TV is internet enabled, so I can put Spotify podcast, even a TV channel on. You don't have to be stuck in front of it. You can be listening to it while moving as well. And hoping to get a haircut today as well. And I am working on the umming and ahhing. I know it's not great presentation skills as well. But given a lot of these are just talking points, they are. Talking points are generally like thought out of, oh, this would be a good video. That's where the umming and ahhing comes from as well. And the routine video, I've got to work a bit more on to make sure I don't dox myself. See you guys. Hey guys, so my bedroom's reasonably done and dusted. There we go, guys. So now I've got to get organised for the day. Obviously I don't drive, so I walk when I don't have a support worker, or if it's a longer trip, I use a taxi. Obviously I've got the organisation I volunteer with tonight, so and we're having what we call a fudge night, which is fathers, uncles, brothers, so basically a male in their life, to celebrate Father's Day as well. So I've got to make sure I've got a clean uniform for it, which I do. Then I went yesterday and put things into a nice handbag. But because I'm walking today, and guys, I saw some nice ones up the coast, but I've realised if I just fix the zip on this one, why waste, basically. So I'm going to put my recording gear in there, everything I need for recording when I'm in the wild with the podcast. And guys, I want to encourage people with a disability, if you're starting a podcast, if you're starting a YouTube or Rumble, it can take anywhere from 6 months to 5 years. One thing I've found is disability market is very saturated, to the point it may be oversaturated. So think about what you enjoy outside of that. It might be video games, it might be news and current affairs, it might be books. There might be a skill that you are really, really good at. It might be cooking, it might be sewing, it might be organisation. As well, it might be showing off your collections. There's two housemates and their poor harassed support worker who cook over on TikTok. As well, it might be like I'm doing with a support worker, exploring your cheap and cheery things to do around your town. So that's a really big one as well. Going to do my kitchen, and probably the big thing I need to do after recording, I've got a whole pile of ironing as well. So guys, have a look what the office looks like. I want to get that really nicely organised. Guys, I have a friend who does the market, so I'm going to talk to her and start taking my craft to the markets, / put it on my Patreon as well. But I think the markets is where it's at as well. Might ask her if she wants to trial and take a few things up. But time to get that all clean as well. And guys, since I've been decluttering, oh god, my Zoom. Sorry about that, guys. That's all stuff that I've got to go through. There's stuff to be cleaned there, but there's bottles and jars that I'm going to put on and consumers, because I know Father's Day is coming up, so some of the schools might want it for like your cookie in a jar type of thing as well. But because I've essentially got 2-bedroom, kitchenette and bathroom, I have to be very, to use the word that's trending, mindful about what I bring into this house. I've had to have family move me 3 times, so I've got to be very, very aware. This also comes into commercialism. One thing I've noticed, I've got money in the bank if I'm not buying the clothes, if I'm meal prepping as well. And when I do need to buy clothes, I'm either at the op shop or designer stores. Those seem to be worlds apart, but there's a very simple reason there. The clothes in both generally seem to be better quality. Shoes I will buy brand new, and I will go to Vans, Skechers or Maya or Novo. So learning what you can and can't scrimp on is really good as well. And I'm going to reach out, send a few emails, goes to people. One particular person I'd love to get on is a accountant / financial advisor about budgeting as well. I know there's plenty of TikTokers out there. Guys, I love on Tubi Till Debt Do Us Part. I love her no-nonsense attitude, and as she says, it's not rocket science, it's discipline. But, okay, those of us with ADHD or impulse tendencies for other reasons, ADHD, fetal alcohol syndrome, ASD, ADHD, TBI, how do we manage those impulses? So do we only go shopping under the supervision of a support worker? How do we manage those is a really big one. And for me, best decision I actually ever made, have a trustee. That trustee is a family member. I won't disclose who, but it does not feel like, Mum, can I have my allowance? It's more when you're discussing those purchases, you've got to justify why. So some people might take that as Mum, can I have my allowance? But for me, it's do I go through a thinking process of, do I have something that will do the same job? Can I get this because is this under the amount I need to discuss with my trustee? Is this something that I can live without? Or if it's not, what quality of an item I'm going to look at? Okay, one thing I discussed was my Kmart lunchboxes looking alrighty, but I need to wash my laundry hamper and this guy's looking a bit manky. We're just going to throw them out and replace it. Okay, being mindful, my pillow, my laundry hamper, and this all need to be washed. Okay, these are the things you can be doing when you're getting organised. And guys, getting organised for me, in reality, it's an ongoing process as well, because of support workers in the house, who's in the house, moods of others in the house, as well, goals. And we kind of have worked out a rule that leave it Oh, for a week. If it's clothing, other than like a cup of coffee or something small, coffee and a donut, or one of my housemates, for her own health, support workers need to help her to lose weight. I know in some storage at my parents' place, there's some great lunchboxes that will help her. They're on their own trip with their own services today, aged care services provider. So I'll talk to them about, well, have those degraded from sitting in storage, or can we pass those along to my housemates? And this is where the grey area of gift giving comes in. Well, for me, that's not giving a gift. It is, but it's also getting clutter out of our lives. So guys, I'm going to stop crapping on and start doing as well. I know my singlet's hanging out, but guys, I'm around home. For recording, I'm walking up to the chemist. I will put a white coloured shirt on. In Australia, it's gone from winter to spring almost in an instant. But where we live, there's an old adage going back to almost the 60s saying that you never put away your winter woolies and linen until November. Or you never put them away in timber at all. And yeah, knowing where your money is going, that's the first step I've found out. And it doesn't have to be expensive. I have a paper diary. So, guys, I'm going to need a paper diary that I write in everything. If it's not in the diary, and that's the thing, if, like anything in childcare, nursing, disability, especially on a provider's end, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. Documentation is a big reason why I'm in favour of mandatory training and registration for support workers. That's a huge issue that we don't actually think about with independent support workers. And look, as I've said, time and time and time and time again, there is plenty of brilliant, ethical, independent support workers out there. But there also is a lot of untrained, unethical, independent support workers who got annoyed with the rules, regulations and policies of working for an agency. But when they got into independent support work, realised the agency were probably just as frustrated for one very simple reason. They were not policies and procedures that were there just because of ethics or whatever. They were actually part of the regulations and the law as well. So guys, I'm delaying cleaning. See you on the other side. Hey guys, decided to roughly style my hair. Just got a phone call from the chemist. The pharmacist I was recording with is unwell. Guys, these things happen as well. He was giving up his time to talk about me, to talk to me, not to talk about me. But it does work well, and this is the thing with YouTube, podcasting. You have to work with the guests as well. But guys, getting into that today as well. So this is where YouTubing and podcasting, especially if you're working from home, which I am at this stage, there's always something you can be doing. as well. So researching, emails, admin, for me, cleaning, housework as well. Also looking at the reality, now I've come down to earth of, I want a weekender. What's the reality of it? So do I need to spend so many nights there to keep insurance? How much insurance is going to cost? Will family and friends expect to use it for free? As well. Especially beginning YouTubers and podcasters. Guys, I've just realised I also need to do some grooming. But YouTubers and podcasters, LinkedIn Learning, especially in Australia, your local council library, go and grab a library card. There's a lot of courses. I found the LinkedIn Learning ones particularly to be the best. I can't simply afford vidIQ as well, but I'm now going to put some music on, rock out to being organised. Can I just say, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work, but being organised is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. It saves so much money, time and heartache as well. See you guys.